Hello and welcome back to Hyvinkää for the Finnish Grand Prix, round 12 of the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship. Temperature still mid-20s. Track is chewed up, it's gnarly. It's going to be a physical challenge for the guys in the second half of this afternoon. Still got a light breeze out on the track, but it's still going to be a very difficult racetrack to conquer. It's the first time the MX2 riders have ever raced around here for a Grand Prix, even raced here for a Finnish Grand Prix. So the first time we came to Hyvinkää was back in 1965. That's when the track was just the other side of the road from here. Torsten Holman, the first ever winner. Out of all the 21 Grand Prix that we've had here previously, just one was in the 125, or now MX2 category as it's known. That was won by David Strybos of the Netherlands on a Honda. He's not here this weekend, but there are plenty of other riders who were probably racing that day, knocking around the paddock, such as their involvement in the motocross world, either managing teams, managing riders. In terms of manufacturers winning, Husqvarna have the most wins actually with 5, Yamaha on 4, Suzuki with 2, KTM 2 victories in the past around here, so too Maiko, Puch, Honda, Kawasaki, Gilera and CZ. The MX2 riders earlier made their way out from the waiting zone in front of the skybox over the Monster Energy presentation zone and out onto the circuit for their sighting lap. Of course, those riders are now back. We just saw them making their way to their positions. 1,550 meters long here, the circuit, but as you can see, lots of long straights. It's deep, it's sandy, it's choppy. A little bit of work gone on around the track, fixing the faces of the jumps, but in moto number 1, it was Jeffrey Hurlings, number 84. He's starting from gate number 4 there. He was at the inside in moto number 1. He's decided to move a couple gates further down. This is how they qualified yesterday. Glenn Coldenoff with his 3rd pole of the season. And it was Jordi Tixier, Roman Fevre, Christophe Charlier, the rest, Jake Nichols, Boutron, Pocock and Kulas with his best qualifying of the year so far. And it comes here at his home race in Finland. So race 1 was won by Jeffrey Hurlings by 56 seconds over Glenn Coldenoff. Dean Ferris was 3rd, Jake Nichols was 4th, so he's got a realistic chance of finishing overall on the podium with a good result here in moto number 2. So too Jordi Tixier, probably one of the fastest riders on the track, went down on lap 1 and got back to 5th. Petrov, Kulas, Charlier, Boutron and Tonkov rounded out the top 10 with Anstey coming home in 11th. The Monster Energy 15-second board is already up. We are getting ready to go racing here. Race 2, the Finnish Grand Prix, round 12 of the World Championship. Tixier, Kulas, Boutron, Hurlings, they're the first 4 guys at the gate there, and it is a drag race. And Boutron swings across, but so too does Dylan Ferrandis. We had a big crash through there in qualifying yesterday, but no such dramas today. And it is Ferrandis going into the first corner. We've got drama then. Coldenoff being one of those. Monticelli, the 128. Charlier, and Jake Nichols. Nichols is down. Looks a little bit beat up and winded. There was obviously a bit of bar banging going on into the turn. So tough luck then for Jake Nichols as this MX2 race doesn't even make it past the first corner for the Wolvo Nastan JM Racing KTM rider. But Ferrandis, Boutron, Tim Geiser, they're your first 3. Then it's Tixier in 4th. And then is that 15, Golovkin? I think it is. So Golovkin with a good start. But Hurlings already through into 4th place, down the inside here of his teammate, number 84. So the Red Bull KTM guys in the yellow and blue shirts, 84, the first one of those through. There's Ferris, the 111 Monster Energy Yamaha rider. Golovkin going backwards already. Taken away the berm completely here in this left-hander. So the riders are going to be finding it tough to build that up in the first few laps, but Boutron already coming under attack from 84 Hurlings, who goes wide to the outside. Boutron tries to cut him off, but Hurlings goes back across the other side. He may even pass him as they go through the finish line area. And we wait for him to come through now. And it is going to be, as we're looking on board, it's Ferrandis first, then Hurlings, then Boutron, then Tixier as they come through. Then Ferris in 5th, Geiser 6th, Tonkov 7, Golokin 8th, Fevre 9, who had a broken gearbox in moto number 1. Robert Justice 10th, Mel Pocock 11, Lupino 12, Kulas 13, James Dunn is 14th, Erky Caro, Evan Havey, Petr Petrov again, a bad start for him in 17th, Kevin Ford, Stefan Olsen and Maxime Dupre, the top 20 guys after the first pass through the finish line. Max and still, Geiser's down. So Geiser, who had a good start, was in 3rd and was passed and dropped to 6th before the end of the first lap. Now finds himself going down in turn 2. Koldenhoff picks himself up off the floor of the first turn, and he's now in 28th place. Charlier 30th, Nichols, we're waiting for him to come through, and also Monticelli. And I'm guessing maybe they have not even rejoined the race. Who knows? We'll keep an eye. Yeah, Nichols goes through now in 31st place. Hurlings all over the back of Ferrandis, though. The 122, our race leader. Both riders will cut to the inside. Hurlings was jumping through there on the first lap through. And you can already see how Ferrandis just holding him up through that little part of the racetrack. On the gas, though, Hurlings finds a drive. He's going to go inside. He knows there's no berm, so he takes Ferrandis wide and slots up into the lead. So Jeffrey Hurlings then looking to equal Stefan Evert's record of 12 wins in a single season in terms of Grand Prix victories. He's on 11 as we stand at the moment. Oh, Golovkin just getting out of shape there as Lupino came through. The long loop round into the wave section just before the finish line area. Just wondering whether he's actually moved up another couple places, but Hurlings, Ferrandis, Boutron, Tixier, Ferris, top 5. Tonkov 6th, Fevre 7th, Pocock 8th, just 9, Lupino now 10th, Kulas 11, James Dunn has moved to place 12, goes by Golovkin 13, Evan Havey 14, Erky Caro 15, Maxime Dupre 16, Stefan Olsen, Petr Petrov, Kevin Fors and Max Anstey in the points now in 20th place. Lupino going past Robert Just, the 195, gets himself into 9th place, going after Mel Pocock, the 119 on the Monster Energy Yamaha, just ahead of him here. Let's have a look at the start from another angle. So Jake Nichols about 10 or 12 gates over. And him and Koldenhoff already banging bars going in. Oh, and he caught the rear wheel of Tonkov. He caught the rear wheel of Tonkov, went down hard on the right shoulder, and I think he may have got run over there as well. No wonder Nichols was taking a long while to get going again. Do we see it just out the corner of the eye here? Already past it, I think. Yeah. We did have a drone cam yesterday from above. Not sure if we have that out on track today, though. There's Jose Boutron. He was 3rd at the end of the first official lap. But he's got Jordi Tixier still breathing down his neck on the Red Bull KTM, who charges up the inside into the final corner. And I think he may have just found a way through as he comes over the line. Ferrandis, no, he didn't. Well, Ferrandis was there in 2nd. Tixier did find a way past Boutron. So Tixier goes 3rd. Fastest man on track, though, with a 140.2 is Jeffrey Hurlings. And it's a 43.2 for Ferrandis, a 41.5 for Tixier, 43.9 for Boutron. Ferris is still in 5th place, just... how far is it? A couple of seconds off of Boutron already. But Tixier was one of the fastest riders in the race in moto number 1, but not the fastest. Ferris isn't 2 seconds behind Boutron anymore, because here he is, look, all over the back of the Silver Action KTM rider. Tixier making a move and goes through into 2nd. Jumped a little bit longer, kept it on the gas as well, just a little bit longer, coming into that tabletop. Ferrandis, oh, and he loses a leg. Picks the front wheel up, gets away from him, grounds out on the top of the rut, snags a leg off the side of the foot peg, but Tixier very lucky to get away with that one. Here's Ferris, 111, Monster Energy Yamaha. He's in 5th position, going after the number 17 of Boutron. Just behind him is Alexander Tonkov on the Ester Motorsports Honda there, red, white, and blue. Good to be back here in Finland. Good to see a great crowd as well. all around this racetrack in Hrvinka. Deja vu here as Boutron into that right-hander. Tixier, 9-11, now in second place. Started the race fifth. There's Ferrandis, the guy who got the whole shot, the 122 on the Rockstar Bird Racing Kawasaki. Over the finish line now, goes through in third place with a 145.3. That's 6 seconds slower than Hurlings that time around, who's just on the fastest lap of the race, a 139.7. Knack, try and save it if you can. Oh, he had to bin it in the end, did the 244 of Jonas Heimonen. Looked good for a while, though. Thought Ferrandis just lost a leg there as well, as he took off on that short little tabletop jump. Goes wide. Does he leave the door open for Boutron? Well, Boutron was close, but not close enough. Ferris just closing in the background on both these guys. The 111 on the blue Monster Energy Yamaha, or the black Yamaha, but with the flashes of blue on it. As Ferrandis coming under pressure. Thought he was going to lose out there to Boutron, playing right into the hands of Ferris and Tonkov. This is, because both these guys will be through. Boutron hard down the inside of Ferrandis, runs him wide, and steals third place away from the young Frenchman. This circuit a lot cleaner, a lot smoother now, leading up to that jump, so a little bit easier than it was in Moto number 1. It's going to take a while for riders to maybe even make some passes in some places because of the flat nature of the circuit again. Vamos. That's going out to Boutron. And there is Boutron. Now in third, number 17. Ferris trying to go around the outside of Ferrandis. He'll cut back to the inside over the finish line jump, then maybe switch it back to the right and think about squaring him off coming through turn 1, who is already out wide here. Cuts it to the inside, but doesn't get on the gas early enough, even though Ferrandis runs into a little bit of traffic, then holds the middle ground. Ferrandis thinking about giving him a bit of a look, tap. Rubber on rubber going into that bottom corner, but thinks the better of it. This is a battle for fourth place. Ferrandis, Ferris, Tonkov, and Romain Fevre. Gearbox problem in Moto number 1. Romain Fevre now in 7th place. That's him just here off the back of the group. Then there's about a 6-second gap back to Mel Pocock, Monster Energy Yamaha. He's in 8th place. Alessandro Lupino, CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki is 9th. As Ferris goes past Ferrandis, who has to back out of the challenge in the end on the Kawasaki, on the black machine. Oh, Romain Fevre off the bike at the back there. Lost his legs. Kept it up on 2 wheels, though. So Ferris now going to go after Boutron, number 17. We've had 4 laps gone. And, Hurlings already 9.5 seconds clear of Jordi Tixier, our race leader. Jose Boutron is 3rd. And then this battle here, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, headed up by Dean Ferris on the Monster Energy Yamaha as Tonkov goes past Ferrandis. So Tonkov feeling a little bit better in this second race, or certainly in the first part of it anyway. So the Ester Motorsports Honda, the boy in red, going after Dean Ferris now. Still 4 guys fighting over that 4th place. The Steve Dixon looks on as well, wondering where Mel Pocock is. Well, Pocock just a couple seconds adrift of these, well, 6 seconds actually. Still holding on to 8th ahead of Lupino on the Kawasaki. As the 122, Dylan Ferrandis, is already out the back of this group and drops to 7th place in the space of about a lap. Not sure if he is finding the pace just a little bit quicker, just a little bit tougher in the early stages of the race, but in Moto number 1, Ferrandis, remember, had a couple of problems early on before putting in a charge. And Ferrandis in MX2 race 1 was pushing up front actually in the early stages. Alexander Tonkov and Romain Fevre, the 59 and the 461, just there, fighting over 5th place at the moment. Just ahead of them is Dean Ferris, the 111 on the Monster Energy Yamaha on the jump now, just ahead of them. There's Dylan Ferrandis, who in Moto number 1 actually started in 8th and got himself up as high as 5th place before making a mistake and falling right the way back down to 30th in the end. So he'll be looking at a major improvement on that in this second race, but he's got to go with these guys, currently sitting there in 7th position at the moment. As Ferris closes in on Boutron here, number 111. Hurlings 14 seconds clear, with 6 laps gone. His teammate Tixier still in 2nd position. Back with Tonkov though, on the Ester Motorsports Honda. Dropping down into turn 2. Roman Fevre looking interested, 461 on the Will Vonestein JM Racing KTM. Take a look back down the order. Nichols in 27th position after picking himself up after that first turn crash. Golovkin, who started in 2nd or 3rd, has already dropped down to 22nd position. But Koldenhoff, look at the charge that he's put in, already into 12th place. Glenn Koldenhoff. So we're getting ready to go down to pit lane, and we're getting ready to speak to a legend of the sport as well, none other than Heikki Mikkola, 4-time world champion. 3 of those in the 500cc category, 1 of them in the 250, and beat Roger Da Costa, the great 5-time world champion, en route to his first ever title. Here he is in pit lane.
Heikki, it must be really nice to see the World Championship return to Finland.
Yes, I'm very happy we have world champion back in Finland about 20 years ago.
And Harry Koulas is putting in a nice performance here today, probably the best one of the year so far for him.
Yes, we have in some good driver like Kullas. He makes very good race in the first heat, and now we see what's happening second heat.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Still looks as fit as a day when he rode to those 4 world titles back in the day. Of course, his first season was back in 1979, the year that Graham Noyes was world champion. He finished 5th that year, did the Finn, and then he retired at the end of that season. Just injuries finally catching up with him, but he did go on to manage Neil Hudson and Daniel Laporte with Yamaha for a year after that, before buying the farm here just outside of Hövinka and settling down to life away from motocross. And it's a pretty successful business for him here in these parts. And good to see him here as well. Pekka Bäckinen is also here, who was the last guy to win in 91 when the track was just a stone's throw away from this particular Hövinka venue. As Dean Ferris going after Boutron, it's taken him a couple of laps, but Koldenhoff is out. So Koldenhoff, who was in 12th position, he crashed at the start in turn 1, and that standing construct KTM is terminal. And that is turn 2. Hasn't got so far to push it back, but he'd rather be riding it back to the paddock somewhere inside the top 10 in 25 minutes time, as opposed to pushing it back 25 minutes early, would Glenn Koldenhoff. So Koldenhoff, who finished 2nd in Moto number 1 behind Jeffrey Hurlings. I wonder if he picked up a problem with that bike when it went down on turn 1 as well. Maybe, you never know, do you? Split radiator hose or something like that. The bike working its way to a stop, who knows? But Mel Pocock, the 119 in white, just ahead of our onboard camera, Alessandro Lupino on the CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. These guys still fighting over 8th place. Harry Koulas just behind Lupino, looking to improve on that 10th place that he's already in on the Sarkar Racing KTM. There he is, the 3rd rider in shot. Then just behind them is Maxime Dupre on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Petrov now up into 13th place. So a little bit slower and coming forward is the Bulgarian, who had a storming ride in Moto number 1 to come home in 6th place. Pocock going defensive. Lupino in Moto number 1 got 18th after a big crash. He makes a mistake, and Koulas getting ready to run alongside him. Thought about going around the outside and switching to the inside just in case. Lupino decided to cut him off around the outside there, but Lupino thought better of it as they head up over the step up through the flat left-hander. Hard ground over here, stones and rocks. As Ferris looking to go through, and he does, he bosses his way through. He forced the issue, he forced a mistake from Boutron, who tried to hang on, despite the big holes in the waves coming through that turn 5 section in the chicane at turn 6. So the Australian then climbs into 3rd position. That's where he finished in moto number 1. So could be looking at a possible 2nd overall. Dean Ferris now. Hurlings, of course, looking at 2 wins. Koldenoff, who was 2nd in moto number 1, is out. Dean Ferris, who was 3rd in moto number 1 and 3rd in the 2nd moto. That'll stick him on 40 points. We've got Nichols, who was 4th, and then Tixier, who was 5th in moto number 1. So it'll be between those two in terms of the next 2 positions on the podium, of course. Oh, Roman Febvre, the back end just getting a little bit too loose for comfort. Yeah, Ferris will nick it by 2 points at the moment. 40 points for him, 38 for Tixier. So Ferris will be looking at 2nd overall at this stage of the race with, what, 17 minutes to go. Look at that. Just hit a sinkhole at the wrong place. So even though they go over with the machine and blade it backwards, and then it was just too deep in the first turn as well. Still doing a good job, though, is Roman Febvre. But can't find a way to unlock the Ester Motorsports Honda ahead of him, find a way through. Tonkov in the red, white, and blue, number 59, in 5th place, going even tighter through there. This is where Ferris found a way through on Boutron a lap ago. Momentum is what you need here. Roman Febvre doing his best. Dylan Ferrandis still not out of it yet as well, in 7th position, just behind him there. In the red and black, just coming into land now. Ooh, Febvre having a sneaky look up the inside of Alexander Tonkov. Mel Pocock has succumbed to Alessandro Lupino, who now sits 8th, Pocock 9. Kulas breathing down his neck in 10th. Dupre 11th, Petrov still 12th. Anstey 13th on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. 14th is the Monster Energy Yamaha of Christophe Charlier. Then it's the Elchny Latvia Honda of Robert Just in 15th. Tim Geiser on the Marchetti Racing KTM is 16th. Stefan Olsen JTech Honda is 17th. Sever Brulyakov Garibaldi Honda is 18th. Golovkin is 19th, as once again Febvre digs it deep, but this time gets it right and eventually carries that momentum through past Tonkov into 5th position. Wonder how much of that Dylan Ferrandis would have seen and taken note of. If he can get close enough, could see a repeat move at some point. Pocock and Dupre, 2 teammates at Monster Energy Yamaha out of the Steve Dixon stable. They're in 10th and 11th. These two, of course, fought for the 250 European Championship at the start of last year. Dupre was on a CLS Kawasaki at that point, before being snapped up by Steve Dixon for 2013. So these two know each other well from a racing point of view. Pocock going wide. Tries to use that momentum there, but it gets too tight through here. Just wondering whether he can carry a bit more speed if he goes inside and inside through that particular section. Tommy Metzola, one of the local guys, calling it a day. Not sure if that's just because finding it tough in his first MX2 Grand Prix. Dupre thought about jumping across and going down the inside of Mel Pocock. So these two fighting over 10th place. Pocock, the lead rider in that battle at the moment here, number 119. Through that sweeping, wavy corner. Closing in on 151, Harry Kulas as well. So Kulas, has he lost the toe to Alessandro Lupino? I think he might have done, you know. Again, that wide line just starting to suck in the riders. Pocock just getting caught out there. Needs to take a slightly wider line, sweep in through turn 1. There's Monticelli, who was a the victim of that first turn crash, decides to call it a day as well on the Richie TM. Shame, because he's been riding good this weekend. Here's Hurlings, number 84, already lapping up to Golovkin, number 15, who's in 19th place. 4:17, Erkki Caro has already been lapped there. As Hurlings gets ready to switch it down the inside of Golovkin, who knows that Hurlings is there. Lets him come through, so 13 minutes to go, and we're already lapping up to 19th place. Bruljacov is 13 seconds further up the track on the Garibaldi Honda. Then 15 seconds up is the 17th place rider, Stefan Olsson. Hurlings is lapping 1:43.6. And those guys are lapping sort of 6-7 seconds slower. As we look at Jeffrey Hurlings, who's our race leader by 23.5 seconds, we're getting ready to go down to pit lane. Speak Stefan Everts. Here he is.
Stefan, last weekend in Latvia, we saw Jeffrey equalise Dave Strybos's record. This weekend, he's looking at equalising one of yours.
Yeah, that's correct. That's 12 GPs in a row that I have on my name, but maybe today Jeffrey's going to equal that, so I'm happy for him. You know, he worked hard for it, and it would be good for him at such a young age to already achieve that.
Thanks, Stefan.
And the interesting thing there is that was 12 wins in a season, which is what Hurlings is looking for now. But if you go count back to the year before, Stefan Everts won the last 2 GPs. So actually, from 2005, he won the last 2 GPs, then the first 12 in 2006 did Stefan Everts. That gives him 14 in a row, but in a single season, 12, and that's what Hurlings is looking at. Here's Jordi Tixier. 911, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Still waiting for him to come over the line. As Ferris just shows a wayward leg in 3rd place. He's 17 seconds down on Tixier at the moment. Boutron another couple seconds back. Fevre likewise in 5th place. Tonkov 6th, Ferrandis 7, Lupino 8, Kulas 9, Pocock 10, Dupre 11, Petrov 12. Hurlings 13 laps complete, 25 seconds clear of Jordi Tixier now. Here's Boutron. So Jose Boutron then in 4th place. Going to be coming under pressure, or is he, from Romain Fevre in the next 11 minutes or so. That first turn, pretty interesting. Byrne builds up pretty quickly, takes the riders out wide. Amazing how many guys still using that, sort of drifting the way through. Just to stay out of the deep stuff. Because when it grabs, it really does grab and can knock half a second, 3/4 of a second off your time. Here's Tonkov coming up towards us now on the Ester Motorsport Honda. Still in 6th place. Romain Fevre ahead of him. Dylan Ferrandis just here, so he's lost the toe. Back marker in between them. Having a better time of it in moto number 2 is Tonkov. Finished 10th in race 1, 6th at the moment. Romain Fevre in 5th place. Where's his teammate? How much progress has he made? Well, Jake Nichols now on the verge of points. He's in 21st position. He's 1:33 down on our race leader, and he's about 15 seconds down on Golovkin, I think, in 20th place. Nine minutes plus 2 laps to go. MX2 race 2 here, the Finnish Grand Prix at Hervinka. About half an hour north of Helsinki, the capital. Jeffrey Hurlings, 27 seconds clear of Jordi Tixier, his teammate. As the 1st and 2nd riders in the moto, Dean Ferris, Monster Energy Yamaha is 3rd. 4th is Jose Butron. Roman Febvre is 5th. Tonkov is 6th. Ferrand is 7th. Lupino, we just saw him here on the 300 Kawasaki, is in 8th. Kulas is all over the back of him in 9th. The 151 there on the Sarkar KTM. And Maxime Dupre is now in 10th. Petrov is 11th. Anstey 12th. Pocock, we've gone missing. He's in 13th. We're going down to pit lane.
It's a pleasure to have you here. What do you make of the action so far?
Oh, it's interesting, you know. We hardly ever get a level like this in motocross in Finland, so it's good to have a good competition, a lot of crowd here.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
You are Salmonen. Enduro rider from these parts. Oh, Lupino just running wide at the top of the hill. He's in 8th, can't afford to make mistakes like that with Harry Kulas breathing down his neck. Had a bit of a violent shake of the head there, briefly. Kulas going to the inside. 151, looking to nick another position. Split lane through here because of the big waves, but having to go the long way round. Here's Kulas, 151. Crowd trying to urge him on as best they can. First time he's ridden a home Grand Prix. Some would say it's been a long time coming as well, and we should come here more often, especially when we have guys like Harry Kulas riding in the World Championship. Good quality rider, one of the young up-and-coming stars. But here he is trying to deal with the CLS Kawasaki, the Monster Energy Pro Circuit machine of Alessandro Lupino, number 300 in green here. These two fighting over 8th place at the moment. "15 laps complete now for these guys. Kulas really at home on that KTM since he switched in the Swedish Grand Prix. Estonian team. His dad's even thrown the spanners for him. That gives him something to do over the weekend, but got to concentrate hard here now, the Finn. We spoke to the original flying Finn earlier on in the race. Heikki Mikkola, former 4-time world champion, of course, who lives a stone's throw away from here, but Harry Kulas, the best Finn in the World Championship at the moment. Currently 15th in the standings. This time takes a shorter route through to follow Lupino through that turn 5-6. Turn 7. Normally a difficult turn, but here the fans getting vocal, showing their support as he looks to get alongside Lupino at the end of the straight here. Going to jump long, try and swing around the outside, get the drive momentum cut back. A mistake from Lupino might allow Kulas to come through. Gets the KTM squeeze though, through that little kink. Not for the lack of trying. There's Ferrandis just ahead of him as well. There's Anstey closing in. So the number 14, Max Anstey on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe bike, now in 11th place. His 10th place. He's found a way past Maxime Dupre. And you wonder why they're not jumping longer off that jump. You see the ruts and the braking bumps right on the face of that little plateau jump there in the background. So Anstey only 3 seconds behind these guys, less than that actually. There he is, closing right in. Nice line through there as well for Anstey. Just straight lining it through there, taking the jump right on the right-hand side. So suddenly, Harry Kulas, he was the one with the momentum closing in and putting the pressure on the 300 of Lupino. Suddenly, he's going to have eyes in the back of his head with the fast closing and the hard charging Max Anstey from Britain, from England. Oh, Lupino bouncing out of control as he tries to switch sides. Anstey, what were his lap times last time around? 1:42.2. It's 2 seconds quicker than the guys ahead of him. And once again, Kulas trying to find a way round. Didn't work last time, doesn't work this time either. Like we said, not for the lack of trying. Anstey just got side, just lost a bit of ground on the last half a lap or so. Ferrandis just sneaking ahead as well as he holds on to 7th position. But Anstey closing in on this part of the racetrack. Might just see a flash of the wheel there, yeah, on the right-hand side. He thought about closing in, but couldn't quite make the inside, had to go to the second line. Got a bit deep around about this point here. Almost got hung up on the berm on the way out. Gave a little bit more breathing space to Lupino here to number 300. As he holds on to that 8th place. But look at Max Anstey, he's a danger man. Number 14 on the yellow Suzuki. He's in 10th place. He's got 2 guys ahead of him. 3 if you include Ferrandis. About 4 seconds further up the track. So Max Anstey looking at breaking into the top 10 in this second MX2 race. But first of all, he's got to find a way past Harry Kulas here, 151. And then the 300 of Lupino. That would put him into 8th. Ferrandis just going out of sight there. That would give Anstey a potential 7th. And then if he really pulls the pin, Alexander Tonkov in the closing stages, 2.5 minutes plus 2 laps. You never know what can happen. He's about 6 seconds further up the track at the moment there at the end of the straight look. So Anstey will really be starting to peel the eyes back now and having a good look around, see what's going on. He knows as long as Kulas keeps going wide and getting hung up on the outside there, that might just play into his hands a little bit. But it's the old cliche, isn't it? Catching the rider is one thing, trying to find a way through is an entirely different situation altogether. But he gets good drive through the waves. Is he alongside Kulas? I think he's done him here. Doubles his way into the final corner. Great bit of riding then from Max Anstey as he demotes the Finn, Harry Kulas, down to 10th place. And Jens Johansson there just disappearing off the bar from down there in pit lane, urging Anstey on. They know they're a little bit behind the 8 ball at the moment in terms of what they have available to them. But they're not giving up. They're trying to get through the season as best they can. Max Anstey using that line again, look. Arrows his way from one side to the other. Now finds himself right on the rear wheel. Alessandro Lupino here, number 300 on the green Kawasaki. These guys duking it out for 8th place. Ferrandis just ahead of them in this next turn, turn 5. Lupino goes wide, Anstey cuts to the inside. Thought he was just losing the front end there. Gets the momentum, bounces his way through. But we've seen when Kulas tried that, it is the slightly longer option. 36 seconds left. Hurlings has gone through already, 19 laps complete, 41 seconds behind him, Jordi Tixier. So it's going to be 3 to go in MX2 race 2. It's round 12 of the FIM World Motocross Championship in the MX2 division. Max Anstey here, number 14. He's on the charge, trying to pick off 300. Alessandro Lupino, he's cleaner through the wave section. Look how much time he closes up there. That's where he passed Kulas a lap ago. And he's now got Ferrandis right in his sights as well. So 2 guys for the taking here for Max Anstey. Goes inside, doesn't get buried too deep through there. So Lupino, he's got to watch his guard now, because as soon as he goes wide or goes too tight to make a pass on Ferrandis, the guy ahead of him, the 122 Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki here with the red arms. He knows he's going to leave the door wide open for Anstey, number 14 now on the yellow machine, to attack and nick a position that he's been holding on to for the majority of the race. Right, Anstey, is he going to be up the inside? He's square off out of the corner here. Maybe we'll see a flash of yellow. Who knows, maybe he thought about it. Not quite close enough to get it done though, because Lupino probably had the same idea in terms of trying to find a way past Ferrandis just ahead of him in the red. Squeaky brake time. Oh! Locks up the bike. Max Anstey thought he was going to go down or stall the engine. That would have been just heartbreaking for him. Turn 7 over the double jump. Anstey getting good drive. He's going to switch it up to the outside this time around. Looks like he's got good drive. Oh, almost wheel to wheel between Lupino and Anstey. Back marker 136, Olsen on the JTech Honda. Stays out of the way. Two-lap board is out. 42 seconds between Hurlings and Tixier. But this is a battle we're keeping an eye on. The fight for 8th place between Lupino and Anstey. Max Anstey just losing a little bit of time before the wave section there. Going to hit the finish line now. You're going to see the 2 laps to go board as Tixier drops downhill on the Red Bull KTM. He's going to be 3rd overall in the Grand Prix with 38 points, because 2 points ahead of him will be Dean Ferris. Point situation, if you're unaware, joining us for the first time, watching the World Motocross Championship, 25 points for a race win. That'll be Jeffrey Hurlings. He won the first race. He's currently leading the second one as we're on our final lap. So 225s is 50. That'll be a maximum points for him. Dean Ferris was 3rd in race 1. He's currently 3rd in race 2. That'll be 2 lots of 20. So that'll give him 40 points. This guy here will be on 38. Jordi Tixier, 5th in Moto number 1 with 16 points and potential 22 now for 2nd. But Jeffrey Hurlings, as he halfway around the final lap, drops downhill over the Monster Energy step down. He's won all bar a couple of races this year here in the MX2 World Championship. He's won all 11 Grand Prix. Anstey goes through on Lupino. So Lupino gets pushed back to 9th place. Anstey gets the drive in the end. He's now got just ahead of him Dylan Ferrandis, and he might want to attack here in the wave section straight away on the exit of this corner. Gets out of there nice and early. Probably not going to see that pass though, but it's going to be Jeffrey Hurlings as he goes through. He's a couple of corners away from the finish line area. So Hurlings, Tixier, Ferris, Boutron, Fevre, Tonkov, Ferrandis just by about 7/10 of a second over Anstey at the moment, and they're going to be on their final lap, so it'll be interesting to see if we can keep an eye on that. Look at this, Charlier almost being lapped by Jeffrey Hurlings. That's going to be 13th, so he's already lapped Mel Pocock on the final lap. So Jeffrey Hurlings then takes the victory. That's 12 wins out of 12, and he equals the record from 2006 set by Stefan Everts when he did the same thing on the way to his World Championship winning year, his final year in MX1 before he retired at the end of that season, of course. So Jeffrey Hurlings then a 12 in a row man. 12 wins in a season. He wins the Finnish Grand Prix as well, but here's Jordi Tixier. He was 40-odd seconds down at the end of the previous lap, lap 21. Hurlings has already come over the line to complete 22 laps in the second race. Penultimate corner then for Tixier, 911. Picking the front wheeler, nice and easy into the final corner. It's going to be a KTM Factory Racing Red Bull 1-2 for Hurlings and Tixier. Dean Ferris, wait a little while for him to come over the line. But here he is. Oh, that's a smoking Yamaha as well. So lucky for him, it's lasted the race. And look at that, that's 2nd overall. But look at the bike, smoking. I wonder how many more laps that would have lasted. On board with Lupino, he's still got Anstey ahead of him and Ferrandis as well through the wave section. I think Ferrandis might just hold on. No, look at that. Anstey goes through in the final turn, and he comes over the line behind Tonkov. So Hurlings, Tixier, Ferris, Boutron, and then suddenly it was Fevre, Tonkov, and Anstey 7th in the final corner. Ferrandis 8, Lupino 9, Harry Koulas 10. But 12 out of 12 in the first Grand Prix of the season. Jeffrey Hurlings is again making history, gets a hug from the girlfriend, does Dean Ferris, 2nd overall for the Monster Energy Yamaha rider here in Finland. Well, the boys will be looking at that Yamaha when they get back to the truck. Jeffrey Hurlings, a double race winner here, 12 out of 12 for the season so far, equaling the 2006 record, Stefan Everts, when he did it in MX1. Tixier was second, Dean Ferris 2 third-place finishes. Had to work hard for him, though, as well. Wasn't easy, wasn't on a plate. Evan Habe getting his bike pushed back. So Boutron settles for 4th, about 5 seconds behind Ferris. But what a finale in the final lap. Fevre came over the line in 5th place. And then suddenly, in the space of 4 seconds, the next guys down to 9th all came through. But Jeffrey Hurlings, though, he's your winner. And, 52 seconds clear of Tixier in the end. Ferris 3rd, Boutron 4th, Fevre, Tonkov, Anstey nicking it on the last corner on the last lap for 7th. Knocking Ferrandis back to 8th, Lupino 9th, Kulas was 10th. Then it was Petrov, Dupre, Charlier, Pocock. Got lapped on the final lap. Tim Geiser 15th, Hagos Jasbrulyakov, Erkki Caro, Jake Nichols 19th, and Golovkin was 20th. That's his first World Championship point, by the way. Overall GP looks like this. So the overall Grand Prix then belonged to Jeffrey Hurlings with 2 wins out of 2. Dean Ferris was 2nd with 2 thirds, and Jordi Tixier, a 5th and a 2nd, gets him on the box, 3rd overall. So Jeffrey Hurlings winning again. Dean Ferris, that's the 3rd time, 2nd overall for him. Tixier, 3 third places in a row now for him. So Jordi Tixier, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, takes the 3rd step of the podium. For the 4th time this year, that's 3 in a row, Sweden, Latvia and here. So pretty successful, but look at that expression from Dean Ferris. 2nd overall. He was 2nd at the opening round in Qatar. Also round 6 in Portugal, and here again in Finland. But Jeffrey Hurlings making history. First guy to win 12 in a row in MX2. Equals that man right there, his team manager. Those two will be sharing a joke about that a little later on as well. But Stefan Everts, though, still has 14 in a row if you count back to the previous season. Tapio Kiivanen, one of the representatives of the club here, handing out the trophies. 3rd place to Tixier, of course. 2nd overall, Pentti Halonen from the city of Hyvinka. 2nd place trophy for Dean Ferris, Monster Energy Yamaha. Good effort. Winners' trophy, Timo Heinonen, one of the members of parliament. Handing Jeffrey Hurlings his winner's trophy. So a Dutchman, an Aussie and a Frenchman. Tom Partonen, not sure what he does, but he's the RTA of something or other. Handing Stefan Everts the manufacturer's trophy. And Dr. Wolfgang Strub, the director of the FIM Motocross Commission, handing Jeffrey Hurlings another red plate as he continues to lead after 12 rounds of the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship. National anthem time for Jeffrey Hurlings in the Netherlands, as he was a winner here in Finland. Jeffrey Hurlings wins the Finnish Grand Prix here at Ervinka in Finland, of course. And he does so by clinching his 12th victory in a row. In 2013, he wins ahead of Dean Ferris, the Australian, on the Montreal Yamaha there on the left. And Jordi Tixier, his Red Bull KTM teammate, on the right, who finishes 3rd overall for the 3rd week in succession. And here's how it went down in MX2, race 2. The gate dropped, and it was a good jump for the KTMs, but Jake Nichols tagged the rear wheel of Tonkov and went down and took Koldenhoff and Charlier and Monticelli with him. And he was down for a while, was Jake Nichols, but he did eventually come back, and he bounced back into 19th place by the time the checkered flag fell. Hurlings took over the lead pretty early on when he caught and passed with the 122, Dylan Ferrandis, who offered little resistance in the end. So too when Tixier went through. Boutron stormed down the inside as well. Eventually, the Frenchman would fall down to 8th place. Tonkov made a good start, but so too did Dean Ferris. And Ferris would find a way through on the inside of Boutron to nick 3rd place, around about the midway point. Then this battle here between Lupino, Anstey and Koulas went all the way down to the wire, but it was Hurlings who came home the winner. Tixier 2nd, Ferris 3rd, Boutron 4th, Fevre was 5th, and then it was Tonkov in 6th. Here's our winner.
Jeffrey, another record match, another GP1. Talk me through your second race.
Yeah, you know, we've been going really well. You know, took a so-so start, came out top 5, and then worked my way to the lead in less than 1.5 laps. So I'm really pumped about that, and had a great race and a great day. So did 2 wins with about 45 seconds in front, and I'm really pleased. And now next step is to Germany, and hopefully in 2 weeks rip up the title in Loket. So I'm really thankful, and never could do it without Red Bull KTM racing team. Thank you, guys.
Well, congratulations on your win here in Finland.
Jeffrey Hurlings storms to his 12th Grand Prix victory of the year, equaling Stefan Evert's 2006 record when he was an MX1 rider in his final season in competition. But Stefan Evert's now his team manager at Red Bull KTM, MX2 Racing. Got a week off between now and the next race at the Lausitzring in Germany. But he'll be at the Everts and Friends charity race. For more information on that, evertsandfriends.be. That'll be at Genk. And they have loads of crazy stuff going on. Get down there, you might be able to meet this guy as well. Such is the nature of that event. But a good day for Jeffrey Hurlings. Another perfect score as well, 2 wins out of 2. Here's Dean Ferris, he was 2nd, Montreal Yamaha.
Dean, 2nd overall this weekend. You managed to break 3 of Jose Boutron for your 3rd overall podium of 2013.
Yeah, I mean, the last few rounds, it's been really tough for me, and I just kept at it and kept at it and kept training, and there was some low points in there, but we worked together with the team, and Steve Dixon always believed in me. He gave me a chance, and we worked on a lot of bike setup during the week, and it paid off this weekend. I just got to thank the team, Monster Energy, Yamaha, Bike at Cosworth, all my personal sponsors, M2R helmets and 100% goggles, UFO and Alpine Star boots, and thanks for everyone to support me this whole time through all the tough races I've had lately.
Thanks, Dean. We hope to see you back up there before the end of the season.
There's been a few tough races as well since his last 2nd overall and his last visit to the podium, Portugal, round 6. He was 5th in Brazil, 13th in France, 7th in Italy, 6th in Sweden, 11th a week ago in Latvia, 2nd here now in Finland. It's all about keeping that momentum going now for Dean Ferris. He won't be taking a week off next week, that's for sure. He'll be trying to build on this result this weekend, and he'll be heading to Germany in 2 weeks' time with a head full of confidence. Jordi Tixier was 3rd. Here he is with Amy.
Jordi, a bit of a recovery job needed in the first moto, but the second one seemed to go a lot better for you.
Yeah, for sure, it was more easy in the second moto. I almost got the all shot, but Boutron was a bit faster, and I turned in, I think, 6th, 7th place, and the first few laps I give all because I know the track was pretty tough, and I tried to make a gap to try to recover during the race, and that's what I did. So it was a nice race for me, happy about my race, because after the first moto I really gave all and I was really tired, but I did it, pretty happy, again on the 3rd place, but still a good point for the championship. So thank you very much to KTM Red Bull Factory team, and hopefully I can do better in the next GP.
Thanks, Jordi. We'll see you in Germany.
Good ride in the first race for Jordi Tixier. Battled hard from falling down first lap to get back into fifth. Well, that gave him a possibility of getting on the podium, and he was there in second, tied on points with Dean Ferris until Ferris went through on Boutron. That gave Ferris the 2 points needed to get back into that second place. But this guy here kept it on third with that second place finish. And as we said a moment ago, that's 3 third place finishes in a row for Tixier. Of course, he's been there 4 times this year. Brazil, he's also been second 3 times as well. Netherlands, Trentino, and also Bulgaria. So been a successful season for Jordi Tixier. Don't like the look of those rain clouds in the background, getting a little bit darker out there, but what can we say? MX2 Grand Prix has been pretty successful. MX1 is going to be up next. You see the guys already going out for their start, for their sighting lap. And that should be pretty interesting as well. This guy here, Tommy Searle, will be looking for better. And 2 also will Gauthier Paulin. So as the sun disappears behind the clouds, temperature drops here. We're back to go racing again in a couple of minutes' time with MX1. Race 2. Hopefully you can join us for that. But that's it for MX2. We'll be back, of course, in Germany in 2 weeks' time, but there's a matter of MX1 to do in a couple of minutes. So if you're still with us on MX Live TV, just sit back and enjoy these images caught around the weekend. We're back in a moment with MX1, Race 2.
tosi tyytyväinen tähän pakettiin, että KTM Motorsport Suomesta on tosi hyvin töitä ja Sakar Racing on ottanut tosi paljon. On ollut tukena joka päivä tässä projektissa ja tietenkin Arto Jokinen on tehnyt tosi hyvää työtä, Jussi Lietonen valmentaja on aina mukana ja tietenkin kaikki sponsorit sidosut Saamo, SST, kaikki muutkin on tosi mahtavaa. Mitä paina menee, niin tässä nyt on ollut aivan tässä niin yritetään loppuun treeniä ja sen jälkeen kohta päästä